Right. Here's my first ever stream, really. Let me turn this so I can't hear my voice because it's making me speak really slowly. I know that sounds weird, but there's a slight delay, so I keep stopping to hear myself. So I speak slower and slower. Right, there we go. Right, I'm not hearing myself there, so let me close that off. And if I move this up to here, there we go. There we go. Now I can hear myself properly, and I'm not hearing myself speak with a delay. Hopefully everyone can hear me okay. I'm not really sure what I'm doing. If you're watching me on Twitter, please send me a message. I'll try and respond. I think there's a way actually I can show my Twitter feed. Let's have a look, shall we? I'm very new to this. This is a the whole streaming thing. So I don't expect this to be very long, but I'm just sort of giving it a go, really. So let's have a look here. So window capture. I can set up a new device here. So I need to pick the window. The window I want is, where is it? Chrome. There we go. Hey, look at that. Can you see? Look at that. You can. So I put that there, and I put that down there. Hey, look there. You can see me as well. Right, so I'm going to put a little message out on Twitter. So I can put that there. There we go. And you can see me tweeting out to everyone. This is really exciting stuff, right? Hi everyone. I am live streaming. Your questions. I should actually find said stream, shouldn't I, really? Let's pull this over here. Oh. And what do I want? Because I think it actually shows up in my, well, it should show up in my Twitter feed. Let's have a look. This is, I fully admit this is just a test because I really have no idea what I'm doing. There we go. I can see that there. So if I now copy link and set that to pin it to the top of my profile. This is all really boring, isn't it? I'll learn to spell questions in a minute. Link below. Okay, right. So, what are we talking about today? So today, I went to Carisbrooke Castle with my son. Oh, and my wife and daughter, and we all went there basically and had a good walk around and look. And I took some videos, and I thought I might share some of those with you if you're interested. And we talk a little bit about some ghost stories and some ghosts that are kicking around there, and some myths and so forth. So the first person we're probably going to talk about, I think, is the Queen of the Island, Isabella. So let me see if I can get this to show up. So display capture, and I put that across there. Hey, there we go. So here we go. Here I've took a photo. This is in the Hidden Heroes section of at the castle. And if we just go back a little bit, this is basically Isabella here. So I'm guessing the little plaque here is explaining that Isabella that we have there is created by the artist Hannah George. She's wearing her a white hood and so forth. Now, I've been told that actually is hers, and it was returned to the actual to the island very recently, last year I think, maybe or the year before. Someone please correct me if I'm wrong. I'm no expert on this. Now, interestingly, it's been said that people have seen her walking around her favourite part of the castle. So she lived in the castle, and if we have a look here, this is her window, which she had installed when she got work done on the castle, and that looks out over the village or the town of Carisbrooke. Carisbrooke then being the capital of the island, really, and it has been for centuries. It wasn't until very recently that Newport became the county town. But it's been said that people see a woman in white standing there, and sometimes looking out the window, longing. So it's thought that it's actually Isabella who people are seeing. So anyway, this part of the castle was really interesting. You know, there's lots of stuff here about people that you may or may not know. So we're coming along here, and this is the spiritual and I don't know if you saw then. If you just go back a little bit, you can see the reflection of me in there. And no, you can't see. My daughter is on my back there. She's in a backpack, and she was wriggling around. It's the first time she's been out since getting the chicken pox, and so she was that's why the video is really unstable. It's because her kicking about. Anyway, this is the spiritual side of things. And there's a really interesting thing here about the nuns of St. Dominic. Now, they go back many, many centuries. And let me move this out of the way so you can see my beautiful face. Put that up there. How's that? No, it's not even better. That's not better. That's worse. I'll have to come up with something better there. So the nuns of St. Dominic go back many centuries, and there's all sorts of stories about hauntings by them as well. Fascinating stuff, which I'll go through in depth at a later date if people are interested. Please, if you're following me, I don't know if anyone is, there may not be, please send me a message on Twitter, and we can talk a little bit. So coming around this side, we're getting to the part that I found most fascinating, which is here basically. So these are pots. These are sort of early medieval pots and dies and casts and things. I mean, some of these are actually from when the first castle was actually built. You know, so you could almost I could almost believe that the first kings of the island that we know of may have had something to do with it. I mean, isn't that incredible to think about? These are millennia old things, and pots and casts and things. I mean, they could have been handled by the very first kings and people of the island, which is amazing. That kind of blows my mind, really. Story goes that actually Awa, the last king of the island, even is said to spend time and is seen in his war paint, his face painted in almost it's a bluish color, bluish mauve colour from the... Oh, there's a train going by. The wind is sort of blowing in the direction where there's a train going by. Next time I'll do this, I'll make sure that there's nothing going by. So his face painted white from chalk, and then this mauvey blue war paint from his last ever battle. And that war paint, the pigment was brought from the west of the island. And he's said to sometimes walk around parts of the keep, which we'll get to in a minute. So it's so here's another little video that I took. So I should turn that sound off. There we go. And there you can see there's Amy. That's my wife, and George. Let's go back there. I know it's not that interesting, is it? There we go. He's pretending to be a knight. He got a sword and has been running around. We come here quite often. He just loves it here. So this is just one of the rooms, and just walking, just circling around and looking at the size of the stones and the thickness of the walls. It always just leaves me breathless at the amount of work and effort that was put into these things to make them so sturdy and incredible. And that was all done by hand. Unbelievable. This is the new chapel. I just thought I'd share that with you. Just see the beauty of the paintings and the stained glass and so forth. There've been reports of Alfred Lord Tennyson being seen actually in here, the great poet and writer, and there have actually been reports of him walking along the downs, and people have seen him walking along the downs. And there's one story which I think is absolutely amazing, and how true it is I don't know. One person claims to have been walking along the downs and come across a man in a black hat and a black coat, a black cloak, I should say. This person was just scribbling in their notebook, and the walker struck up a conversation with them, and this person was supposedly larger than life and spoke in flowery terms. And the person is convinced that he's met the ghost of Tennyson. Right, so here we are at the top of the keep. This is a view of Carisbrooke as a this is a view of Carisbrooke, the town, and that's going out. I don't know if you can see my mouse pointer there. I need to get something where I can draw, I guess. And that's going out into Newport and so forth over there. But this is the original town here. Now, geologically speaking, I mean, this would have all been a serviceable harbour at one time. The water sort of coming in here. But this is walking along the castle keep at the top. Again, there's Amy and there's George, as you can see, charging ahead. I'm walking very daintily because I've got a baby on my head now, on my back. Now, looking down here, this is the well that services the keep. Now, the keep is sitting right at the top. This is the last line of defence, really. And the original part of the castle. So it had its own well, so that they could draw water up there, and if they were ever under siege, they could still get fresh water. It is said that the ghost of two young children can be heard calling from the well, who'd fallen down there in the 1600s. And you hear them calling. If you go listen to the well, sometimes you can hear them calling out. and people have reported that they've heard children caught down the well, and they need to be helped, and they believe it's the ghost of these children. So that's looking out over the countryside. I mean, how much of that countryside do you think has changed over the centuries? Just looking out, absolutely gorgeous. It's breathtaking, really. I might have done this a little bit quickly, but as I said, I'm walking quite daintily, and that's because, as I said, I got a baby on my back, so I don't fall down. So we've got one. Let me just put this on pause. We've just had one little message from someone on Twitter. Let's have a look over here. So if we go here, oh, there we go, back. Very interesting. We never got to the castle on our visit to the island, as it was snowbound. So what a lovely tour. Thank you. I hope you enjoy it. There's still a few more videos that I'm going to show, and it would have been incredible to see the island with that much snow. And I can't imagine the castle being snowbound like that. That would have been incredible to go see. Unfortunately, you didn't get to, obviously, but I would have loved to have seen it. So let's snap back to our video now. Over here, up here, is the boneyard, or the graveyard, and it's believed that a lot of the graves have been recycled over the centuries, but that's where a lot of people who had things to do with the castle and the have all been buried on this hill. And it's a place that I want to go to at night one time, because apparently it can be quite a spooky little place to go to. And as you can see, there's the ramparts and some cannons that are still there now. Everywhere along here, as you can see, you can see the rook flying over there. So there's rooks everywhere, and they say that when the rooks roost in the trees at sunset, it's the spirits of those who have died in service to the castle, just coming back to make sure everything's okay just before they're off on their adventures for the evening. I think we've been through this video. Let me have a quick look. Yeah, we've had a look at this one already, so not that interesting. Okay, so now we're going to Princess Elizabeth's room. Now, Princess Elizabeth was the 14-year-old daughter of King Charles I, I'm sure you can see and read, and she died in Carisbrooke Castle in 1650, and she's said to still haunt this room. She's seen weeping at the window, looking and weeping at the loss of her father, and hoping for her brother to come home. So she's seen weeping, looking out this window here, and hoping that her brother will come home and save them. She died very, very quickly after being put in the castle after her father Charles I's death. As Charles I, after he'd been beheaded, her and her brother were actually brought here. But she died within weeks, and said died of a broken heart. And as I said, still haunts the place today. Now, this is my favourite bit, and this is coming up to the castle keep. This is to the top of the actual castle, and you come up some very steep, very, very steep stairs. And what we're looking at here, do you see this stone here? This is very interesting. That's the devil's seat. And the idea is that the devil would sit there, and anyone wicked who had any ill intent so we'll just go back there quickly. Oh. That's on there. I don't know if you can see it. That's the well that I showed you earlier. Anyway, the devil would sit here, and anyone who had ill intent to take the castle from the rightful owners would pluck their sinful souls as they walk by. So as you walk by, pluck, instantly dead. So you couldn't even get into the last standing. This is the last piece of where would they'd have their last stand. And I just think that's a wonderful story. I often wonder whether the devil sits there now and just watches people watches the people walking by who are there just to look at the castle. So my very last video, again, this is from the very top. This is looking out the opposite direction. Now this is where my phone went a little bit funny, so the video might go a bit wonky. As you can see, the mist has started to roll in now. This is the famed Swalen that will come in and consume everything in its path. You can see it in its path, and you can see the mist coming in. It was a beautiful, warm day with blue skies, and then all of a sudden this eerie this eerie fog started to come in, and what made it even more creepy, if you can see, the rooks start flying in and landing on there, and there was the sound of the rooks and the crows, and all of a sudden I thought, oh gosh, there they go. You can see them all flying in, and I thought to myself, right, I think it's time for us to go. So we decided to leave at that point. And I have to tell you, it was quite an experience. The way everything changed. It changed from being a lovely, warm day to really cold and eerie, and it felt like suddenly we were in a different place, in a completely different world. And it does that. It just changes just so dramatically and so quickly. And this time of year is just amazing to go to the castle. So I suggest you try coming here, and come in the off season, because it is a strange and unusual place. And particularly on days like today, where it's warm and bright, and then when the Swalen comes in and the rooks and the crows start coming to roost, you know something is very changed, and you know it's time to leave. But I tell you, the atmosphere just changed so quickly. So anyway, ladies and gentlemen, I think that's just about it for now. This is all very new to me. It might have been an absolute disaster. I don't know. I hope you enjoy it. Oh, and we've been given some photos to share. Wonderful. Thank you so much. Let's show the photos of the island in snow. Let's bring these up. Can we see those? Let's see if I can get this centered a little bit better. Here we go. Look at that. Look at that. Wonderful. What a sight. What a sight. Thank you so much. What a beautiful sight. I can see everyone having such a wonderful time, and I know where this is the opposite side of the castle, but just beautiful. I mean, it really gives a sense of what it must have been like on those awful bitter nights and days in the coldest of winters. It must have been a lonely, lonely place. Imagine being up here on the ramparts and patrolling with the wind and the snow and the biting. It must have just been an awful place. But now when we look at it, it's just absolutely beautiful. Thank you so much for sharing. I really appreciate that. Thank you everyone who has taken the time to tune in and listen. thank you, Adonai KT, for the feedback. It's amazing. The beautiful photos are just beautiful. Well, obviously that's a bit redundant. Please join me again. I'm going to be doing another one on the Sacred Isle's birthday. That's in 3 days. I'm going to do a proper stream. Hopefully a much better one than this. Something a little bit more structured. Also let people know that I am donating 50p for every new subscriber that I get between now and our Twitter birthday. I'm going to be donating that to probably a mental health charity. So the more people that come and join us, the more money I can give away. Yay! Thank you again, and hope you enjoyed it. Let's see if I can stop this now. Okay, bye for now.